This is a total recap of Mayfair Witches Season 1, giving you everything you need to know before watching the second season. San Francisco pediatric neurosurgeon Dr. Rowan Fielding learns that her adoptive mother Elena's cancer has returned. When Rowan's chief surgeon refuses to help her get Elena into a clinical trial, she envisions the arteries inside of his head and he collapses. Rowan's belief that she somehow caused the incident is dismissed by Elena, who secretly makes a call to the Talamasca for help. Empath Cyprian Grieve, the Talamasca agent assigned to Rowan, reassures Elena that the man remains in New Orleans. Rowan loses her temper, and this time the man she is arguing with dies. In New Orleans, Dr. Vernon Lamb secretively withholds Thorazine from a catatonic Deirdre Mayfair so he can give his new patient a proper psychiatric exam. Elena dies, and the entity Lasher, bound to Deirdre, appears to Rowan. In the past, young Deirdre is guarded closely by her stern aunt Carlotta, but Mayfair patriarch Cortland hires a young man to seduce her. She becomes pregnant and is saved from suicide by the man, an entity known to Mayfair as Lasher. Deirdre gives birth, but Carlotta hands baby Rowan over to her niece Elena with strict instructions to disappear with the child and never return. A grieving Rowan learns that Elena lied about trying to find her birth parents. Though instructed by Talamasca to only surveil Rowan, Cyprian approaches her and promises answers when the chaos around her escalates. He touches her and collapses from the empathic shock. Rowan looks through his phone and sees photos of Deirdre and Elena. Cyprian awakens in the ambulance and flees. Rowan makes her way to New Orleans just as Deirdre awakens, feigning catatonia for Carlotta. Dr. Lamb promises to help free her, but Deirdre cannot wait. Lasher, who has been kept closely bound to Deirdre due to her drug state, reassures her that her daughter is alive and coming to her. The Mayfair maid, Delphine, lets Deirdre escape to Cortland, where she uses magic to see Rowan's location through Lasher's eyes. Carlotta is shocked when a lucid Deirdre enters the hotel. Deirdre dismisses Carlotta's attempt to bring her home, reminding Carlotta that if she is awake, so is Lasher. Cyprian arranges to meet Rowan at the hotel. On her way to the lobby to meet him, an elevator opens and Rowan comes face to face with Deirdre, who suddenly collapses with her throat having been slit. In the wake of Deirdre's death, a blood-covered Rowan rebuffs Carlotta and leaves the hotel with Cyprian. He tells her about himself, the Talamasca, and Lasher. Carlotta and her sister Millie decide to have a wake for Deirdre to lure Rowan to them. A vengeful Lasher comes to a fearful Cortland, who reminds him that Rowan is the 13th Mayfair Witch. Carlotta locks Delphine in the basement with the jeweled key necklace that bound Lasher to Deirdre. Rowan meets Cyphron's pregnant sister, Odette. Rowan receives a spiked drink at a carnival-like funeral on the street. This enables Lasher to come to her as a mysterious, attractive stranger. He later impersonates Deirdre, but Rowan is not fooled for long. Lasher kills Delphine by making her bash her head against the cellar wall to free himself from her. Cyprian touches Deirdre's dead body at the morgue and has a vision of a man getting into the elevator with her. Carlotta finds Delphine's body, but the necklace is missing. Rowan and Cyprian attend Deirdre's funeral. At the Mayfair house on 1st Street, Carlotta confesses that she sent Rowan away to save her from Lasher. The Talamasca find the man hired to kill Deirdre, but Lasher tortures and then kills him. Rowan meets some of her relatives and learns from Cortland's daughter, Jojo, that she is the designee, the Mayfair heir. Jojo explains that there were 12 before Rowan and shows her paintings of these women wearing the key necklace. Cortland encourages Rowan to talk to Lasher. Carlotta is upset to see Rowan wearing Lasher's necklace and has a servant lock herself and Rowan in the dining room with the paintings. She utters an exorcism-like prayer and sets the room on fire. Cyprian breaks through the door but is stabbed by Carlotta, who was aiming for Rowan. Lasher then appears to a fearful Carlotta, declaring that Rowan is already his. Cyprian and Rowan are disoriented and trapped in the 1st Street house by Lasher's magic. Cyprian's stab wound has become infected. Lasher distracts Rowan by coming to her in the form of a healed Cyprian, but the spell is broken when she notices he is not wearing gloves, as Cyprian would. Cyprian then has a vision of his predecessor, Stuart Townsend, a Talamasca agent who had been assigned to Deirdre's mother, Antha Mayfair, but disappeared. Stuart warns Cyprian not to die in the Mayfair house or Lasher will trap him there forever. Rowan sees the distraught Millie, who is revealed to be a ghost, and leads Rowan to Delphine's body in the basement. Rowan promises Lasher she will stay with him if he releases Cyprian, which he does. Odette finds a dying Cyprian in his apartment, and Samir, Cyprian's superior at the Talamasca, brings a healer to save him. Rowan resists Lasher's machinations and frees Carlotta from suspension. She then takes Rowan to a balcony and says the only way to escape Lasher is to take your own life. Rowan realizes that Carlotta killed Antha, or at least encouraged her to jump from the balcony, and angrily uses her powers to force Carlotta over the balcony to her death. Tessa Mayfair tells Rowan about a growing conspiracy against witches like them and encourages Rowan to use her new powers. Rowan wants nothing to do with any of it. She seeks advice from Cortland about getting rid of Lasher and realizes that Cortland has ALS. Cortland thinks his cousin Dolly Jean Mayfair may know how Lasher was once transferred to Julian, Cortland's father. The man in the morgue steals Deirdre's heart and gives it to the anti-witch cult. Cyprian touches Lasher's necklace and has a vision of the Mayfair ancestor Suzanne, a healer who was tried as a witch in 1681 Scotland by the Witchfinder. As a last resort, she uses wicked words of power which summon Lasher. He stuns Cyprian and strangles the Witchfinder with his own jeweled necklace. Lastly, he gives Suzanne the key to unlock her cage. Jojo and Dolly Jean gather Tessa, Alicia, and other Mayfair women to perform a ritual that employs a fetish doll made from bones or hair from every designee, including Deirdre. Special words of power call Lasher, and Rowan chokes up the key necklace. They believe Lasher has chosen Tessa as Rowan's successor, and the necklace is placed on her. Losing the necklace traps Cyprian in the past. The anti-witch cult abducts Tessa, and Lasher does not come to her aid. Rowan realizes that she is pregnant. The cult holds Tessa in a cage as they are held captive at an old auto parts factory. She tries to use her powers to coerce Keith to unlock her, but she fails. Rowan seeks out Tessa, but finds that she is missing. Rowan feels responsible for Tessa's predicament, but refuses to try and summon Lasher to help them. Lasher tells Cyprian he will never escape the vision, but Cyprian poisons himself and wakes up in the present. Aware that Rowan is pregnant, Cortland calls his associate, Talmasca leader Albrecht, who stops Cyprian from intervening. Albrecht explains that Rowan is about to make a choice that will fulfill an ancient prophecy and begin a new era. As the cultists threaten to burn Tessa alive, Rowan arrives and begins killing them. Rowan is shot but saves Tessa from the flames. Keith appears and shoots Tessa, mortally wounding her. Rowan puts on the necklace and calls Lasher. Commanded by a wounded Rowan, Lasher burns Keith alive. Cortland refuses to tell Jojo the truth behind his obsession with Rowan. Cyprian then discovers that Cortland ordered Deirdre's murder, and any psychic trace at the crime scene was wiped by the Talamasca. Lasher draws Rowan into a vision where she learns that she can heal herself and others, and they have sex. After Odette calls the Talamasca looking for a missing Cyprian, they erase her memories of recent events. Cyprian touches a mask owned by Cortland, learning that Cortland sexually assaulted Deirdre and fathered Rowan. Jojo is horrified and takes Cyprian to the First Street house. He touches the designee fetish doll, seeing a vision of Lasher's prophecy. The 13th witch is the doorway. While Rowan is trapped in the vision, counting down to midnight, the witching hour, her pregnancy has accelerated, and Cortland takes her unconscious body to the Mayfair mausoleum. Rowan awakens with the knowledge that Lasher will be reborn via her child. She goes into labor, and the spirit of Suzanne helps deliver the baby. Rowan then turns Cortland to stone for assaulting Deirdre, and Cyprian tries to take the child, but Rowan leaves with the baby. And that was a total recap of Mayfair Witches Season 1, giving you everything you need to know before watching the second season. I've been your host, Colton Ogburn, and I'll see you on the next Total Recap.
What about the guy you lobotomized? Did he get a refund? I have to hand it to you. It's the best mindfuck yet.